Welcome to the Psychic Pinup Podcast, the anything and everything spiritual podcast where we dive into hot topics, readings, viewer questions, and more. Thank you for tuning in. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive right into it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Anything and Everything Spiritual Podcast, the space where we explore the seen, the unseen, and everything in between. I feel like a poet at the moment. My name is Linda. I am also known as the Psychic Pinup, and I am your host of this podcast. I am so grateful that you are here. Today's episode is one I think so many of us need to hear. It's all about your intuition, and I've decided to call it Your Intuition is Not Crazy. If you've ever had a gut feeling, a whisper in your mind, a strong inner knowing, only to second guess yourself or be told you were quote unquote overthinking, or again, quote or unquote, imagining things, this episode is for you. I would like to talk about what intuition really is, why we tend to mistrust it, how to reorganize when it's speaking, and how to build a deeper relationship with this part of ourselves. Because intuition isn't just a spiritual thing. And again, I'm doing the quote unquote. It's a birthright. And it might just be your soul speaking through you. We all have it. And we're all born with it. And that's why I say it is your birthright. So let's start this off with the question, what really is intuition? Most people would describe it as a gut feeling, maybe a sense of knowing, or a sense of knowing without knowing, if that makes sense. It's subtle, and often it's quiet. And it usually comes before logic kicks in. So that's the key word there, logic. Just stay with me with this. Spiritually speaking, intuition is the voice of the higher self. Some call it soul guidance, inner wisdom. I've heard the term divine intelligence being used also. Scientifically, I've done my research, scientifically it's been linked to pattern recognition and subconscious processing. But regardless of the framework or whatever you'd like to call it, intuition is real. So all those terminologies I was just talking about, in my opinion, is just a different language. Same outcome, just a different language, if that makes sense. But what's interesting is that we're all intuitive. It goes back to our birthright. We are all born with this. It's not just the psychics or the empaths or the mystics or whatever you'd like to call them. Again, difference of language here. It's you, me, and everyone. It's not just a gift, it's a skill. It's an ability. And it's one we're born with. And the thing is, this is the thing. Often we unlearn it as we grow. I will say this again. Often we will unlearn it as we grow. Think about that. I know you've had intuitive moments already. Great example, knowing who's calling before the phone rings. How many times have we all felt that? Me, happens every day. I think about somebody, they call. Or even feeling uneasy in a room for no reason. Or sensing something's off, even when everyone else says it's fine. How many times have you had that happen to you? Only to be right later on. And I'll tell you, it's not a coincidence either. It is a connection. Think about that one. It is a connection. So that leads me into the next question. Why do we doubt it? Why do we doubt our intuition? So if intuition is natural, why do we stop trusting it? From a young age, many of us are taught to prioritize logic, facts, and reasons. Think about when we are little kidlets and the imagination that we had. And then once we get to school, we're learning. And everything has to have logic. And all of a sudden our intuition is thrown out the window, our imagination. I say it gets labelled now as woo-woo, irrational or not real. From a young age, we're told to trust authority, not ourselves. We're trained to second guess feelings, override our instincts, and ask for proof. That's the logic. That is the reasoning. And because of that, we learn to mistrust our own inner compass, our intuition. If you're someone who's been gaslit by others, or even possibly yourself, it can be even harder to feel like you can trust your inner voice. Maybe you were told you're just being sensitive, or it's all in your head. Now, I know that I've just hit a lot of nerves by saying that. Being gaslit, being told that you're too sensitive, being told it's in your head, being told it never happened. But what if you were right all along? What if you were right? I'm here to say this clearly to you. Your inner knowing is valid. Intuition may not always speak in words. It will show up in sensations, synchronicities, or a deep, quiet pull towards something you just can't explain. That's still truth. I have done a podcast on synchronicities. If you haven't already listened to that, you may want to go back and listen to that podcast. Now, this leads me into the signs. And again, I did a podcast on signs and synchronicities. In fact, I think it's all in one there, so you may want to check that out. Signs your intuition is speaking. Okay, so let's get practical here. How do you know when intuition is trying to guide you? Now, here's a few signs to look out for. A calm inner knowing that feels grounded and not frantic. All right, so it's like you're not scrambling to have a feeling. You just know, you feel calm, you're quite confident, you have that feeling. A sudden idea or inspiration out of nowhere. That happens to me all the time. I get so many inspirations. Listen to the inspirations out of nowhere. It'd be like bang, bang, bang into your head. A lot of people experience goosebumps and chills or a physical sensation when something's off or somebody says something and it was smack bang on the money and it gave them goosebumps, or they call them goosies. Me personally, I don't experience that, but I do know a lot of people do. A persistent nudge you can't shake. I get that a lot. Where something is at me, I can't shake a sensation. That is my intuition screaming to me to take note. On the opposite end of the spectrum here, a peaceful feeling. Even if the decision doesn't make logical sense. If you have made a decision and you feel peaceful about it, that is the right decision, even if it doesn't make a logical sense. And here's another one. Dreams or symbols. Dreams or symbols that feel significant to you. That would also fall, for me personally, that would also fall under the signs and synchronicities. Dreams and symbols. So unlike anxiety, please don't get these two mixed up, anxiety and intuition. Unlike anxiety, which often feels loud and urgent, intuition is gentle but firm. It doesn't yell, it whispers. And I'll just go a little bit off tangent here. I always make the joke that it's the quiet ones that you need to watch. So in this case, it's the intuition you need to watch, not the anxiety. The thing is also, if you don't listen to your intuition the first time, it will keep nudging you until you do. So if you get that little niggling feeling and you push it to the back of your head, and if it's important, it will come back to you when you are probably doing something completely different, another activity, completely different, unrelated to the last activity. It may drop back into your feeling again, just to prompt you. Now, I want you to try this. Think about a time you did not listen to your gut / intuition, whatever your language is. What happened? Now think of a time when you did. How did it turn out? I will tell you, that is your own life, your own soul being your teacher. And now leads me into learning how to strengthen that intuition. And again, I will throw another terminology into the mix here. Your inner voice. Strengthening your inner voice. Like any relationship, the one with your intuition needs trust and time. It's that simple. It's something that will not happen overnight, particularly if you've spent a whole lifetime unlearning that intuition. So here's a few ways for you to reconnect with your inner voice, your intuition. Daily stillness. I practice this every day. Even 5 minutes of quiet time helps you to hear your inner voice. Learn to ask questions You don't need to ask the questions out loud. You can ask them in your mind and then wait. Intuition often answers in subtle ways. So tomorrow or today, whenever you've got that still moment, ask, what do I need to know right now? And then pause. See what comes of that. I encourage you also to journal your, I call nudges, okay? Those little thoughts, the feelings. Write them down. I'm such a big advocate for journaling. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern with this form. Learn to notice your body and how it reacts. Your intuition will speak through sensations. And one example I will give you with this is if somebody comes up to you and asks if you would like to do such and such, or they tell you something and your body literally goes, the icks, that feeling where you shy away, your body will react. Listen to how it reacts. Your body is a compass. Now, this is when I will also encourage you to respect the guidance that you are receiving. Even if it doesn't make sense at the time, acting on intuition actually builds trust. And I'm talking about building trust with your spirit team. The intuition is working from them to you. And the more you trust the intuition, the more they will work with you. This is just a tip of the iceberg with intuition. And when I come up with subjects to cover, I can go down so many rabbit holes with every topic that I choose for these podcasts. I do try to condense these podcasts down to a 20-minute to 30-minute episode for you, and with the pretense of going on and digging a little bit deeper in a later episode. So I'd just like to close off this episode with some reflections and call to action for my beautiful listeners out there. If you've ever been questioning your gut, or you've been waiting for a sign, consider this episode your reminder. I want you to know that your intuition is not crazy. It's your truth in motion. Let's say that again. Your intuition is not crazy. It's your truth in motion. So this week, I invite you to pick one moment where you pause and ask your intuition for guidance just once. Start small, then listen. The more you honor it, the louder it will become. I can promise you that. If this episode resonates with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. So feel free to DM me and share your experiences, share your thoughts. If you think that somebody can benefit from this episode, please feel free to send it on to them. Remember, you're not alone on this path, and I'm so grateful to be walking it with you. Until next time, trust yourself, trust the unseen, and keep showing up for the journey. This has been the Anything and Everything Spiritual podcast, sending you lots of love and lots of light. Stay strong. Thank you. Bye.
You have been listening to Linda, the Psychic Pinup. Linda is a psychic medium based on the New South Wales south coast of Australia. You can connect with her via her website, thepsychicpinup.com.au, or join her on her weekly live feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all under the same name, The Psychic Pinup. Thanks for listening.